Madeline is in the room.
I'm here.
So I'm reading a new book. This is on Gary Keller's reading list. And the title of the book is Ultimate Secret to Getting Absolute Everything You Want. The Ultimate Secret to Getting Absolute Everything You Want. What a great title, right? And, you know, I don't know about you, but when I hear a title like that, the first thing that I think is, all right, I'm sure there's value in this because it's on Gary Keller's reading list. And why the heck would Gary Keller have us read this book if there's not value? However, I'm listening to the title and thinking, seriously, it could be that simple. There's a secret that if I just find out what this secret is, I can get everything I want. And I'm a little bit suspicious, right? But I'm going to read the book. So I'm reading the book this morning, preparing for Survive to Thrive, thinking about you guys. And of course, questions are going through my mind. And one of the questions is, how many of us have everything we want? How many of us even know what we want? You know, you've heard me talk before about most of us are going through life with I'm doing the best I can strategy, right? I'm just living life, doing the best that I can, and life is pretty good. And I'm great with that. But unfortunately, doing the best you can as a strategy usually leads where? It usually leads to mediocrity. It doesn't lead to mastery. It doesn't lead to greatness. And have an open mind. Is it possible that you can have more? What would it take to have more? And then, are you willing to do what it takes? And I'm just going to share some thoughts with you that I highlighted in reading this book. And I would encourage you to read it. It's a small book. I finished it in 2-3 hours. It's an easy book to read. And the first thought I want to share with you, in order to accomplish something, you must be willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish it. In order to accomplish something, you must be willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish it. Well, first of all, what does that look like? What does whatever it takes mean to you?
Well, it means to do what you're not really comfortable doing, or do things that are not particularly like a routine, like do something outside your comfort zone. Yeah,
so get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Be willing to do what's not natural. Be willing to do what's not easy. Be willing to live on purpose versus by default, right? If you attend BOLD, Business Objections, Life by Design, that's this wall over here, right? Well, the opposite of BOLD, the opposite of a life by design is a life by default. And that's how most people live life, by default. And it's okay. There's a lot of people who are living some incredible lives by default, but it's not mastery. Being willing to do whatever it takes is a mindset. I'm going to get into some of the other notes in this book, and it's going to unfold a little bit more for you. But it's more just about mindset than anything else. It's about, I'm never going to stop, more than anything else. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's saying that you would have to work 7 days a week, 15 hours a day in order to get anything you want. That's not the message. The message is, I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I'm never going to stop until I get there. It's more of a mindset than it is anything else. The next part that I highlighted from this book says, the principle says you must be willing to do whatever it takes to reach your goal. That is it. The whole secret, and contrary to what you might have read or heard before, it stops there. It demands nothing more of you. But that's only part of the message. And another extremely important part of the message lies in what the principle does not say. The principle does not say that you must actually do whatever it takes. Well, that's interesting. Let me go back and read it again. In order to accomplish anything, you must be willing to do whatever it takes. You must be willing to do whatever it takes. It does not say that you have to physically take on every single task necessary for the accomplishment of what you want. You simply must be willing to do whatever it takes. The truth is, when it comes to getting results, intention is more important than action. Well, that's interesting because that's very contrary to what I've shared with you from Andy Andrews, who would tell you the exact opposite. He would tell you attention means nothing without taking action. That if you intend to do something, the intention alone doesn't get you where you want to go without taking action. I can intend to lead generate every day for 3 hours, but until I actually pick up the phone and start making those calls, that intention does absolutely nothing for me. However, what the author of The Ultimate Secret of Getting Absolutely Everything You Want, longest title in the book, in the history of books. What the author of this book is saying is you have to have the mindset of intention before action can happen. Action's great, but without the mindset of intention, action means nothing.
That makes sense.
Intention is more important than action. What you make up your mind to do is more important than what you actually do. If you choose to begin using the ultimate secret, this is where you start, with an intention. When you form an intention and keep fast to it, you will eventually achieve the results that you want. The essence of the principle, the key to it is the idea of willingness. According to one dictionary's definition, willingness is a frame of mind that is open to every possible demand without judgment, reservation, or refusal. Now, if you were in last week's team meeting, you guys heard me, and I'm going to use myself as an example here, share my thoughts around the decision that I made back in 2015 to become the team leader of a brand new Keller Williams Market Center in Coral Springs, Florida. This market center had 62 agents in it at the time. And I made the decision to become the team leader with a goal of building the #1 market center in all of Keller Williams. The ultimate secret to getting absolutely everything you want. I wanted to build the #1 market center in all of Keller Williams. Well, if I go back to the very first highlight that I read to you, here's the secret to me achieving that goal. In order to accomplish something, you must be willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish it. Well, at the time, I was willing. I was willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish that goal. I never gave a second thought, interesting, to what I was going to give up in order to achieve that goal. I didn't stop and think, I've got this real estate business that's doing $30 million a year, that's grossing me $900,000 a year in commissions, and I'm going to give that up to go start a brand new Keller Williams Market Center with a salary of, let's just say, a lot less than $900,000. And I don't know if you know how team leaders get paid, but they get paid based on the profit of the market center. Well, when you have a market center of 62 associates, there's not a lot of profit. And I made the comment in last week's team meeting that if I were to make that decision again today, there is absolutely no chance that I would accept a position to start a new Keller Williams Market Center. In other words, I'm not willing. I'm not willing today. I look at everything that I have in my life today and everything that I would have to give up in order to make that decision again. And there's absolutely no way I would do it. What's missing? Well, it's the willingness to do whatever it takes. I was willing then, I'm not now. And that's not even a question. So don't read into this and think John's got an offer to go start a new market center. No, that's not it. That's not it. I'm just self-reflecting on the decisions that I've made and asking myself, would I do it again? Would I do it again? And the answer that I came up when I first asked myself that question was no, I wouldn't. Then why did I do it in 2015? Why was it such an easy decision for me then? And today it's an impossible decision. And then I thought of you guys, and I thought of all of you who have given up so much to pursue your dream of building a successful real estate business. And I've thought of your willingness to do whatever it takes. And I admire that. And my passion is building successful businesses for you. It's the reason why I do what I do. And then I thought of all of the people who have been a part of my life in the last 7 years who said that they had this goal. And when I asked them on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to achieve this goal? The answer was always a 10, John, always. Nobody ever said, well, I'm an 8, I'm a 7, kind of want to do this. No, they were all in. And then I look at all of the people who have given up on their dream because of one thing. They lacked the willingness to do whatever it takes in order to achieve that dream. And then I realized Gary Keller's a genius. Now I know why he wants everybody to read this book. The essence of the principle, the key to it, is the idea of willingness. According to one dictionary's definition, willingness is a frame of mind that is open to every possible demand without judgment, reservation, or refusal. In order to experience an extremely outstanding or unusual event, and he's talking about miracles, and I'm not getting into the entire page here, but he goes in to describe a definition of miracles. And an extremely outstanding or unusual event is one definition of a miracle, okay? Now, in order to experience an extremely outstanding or unusual event, thing, or accomplishment, a miracle in your life, you must have an open mind. You must not judge or refuse. You must be willing to do whatever it takes, and by extension, without doubt, you will make miracles happen in your life. In chapter 5, he goes on to say, to get what you want, you must recognize. You guys know you don't have to read the book now because I read it for you. Got it? Okay. To get what you want, you must recognize something that at first may be difficult. Well, let me rephrase that. Holy cow. It's going to be difficult, not maybe difficult. It's going to be difficult. Blood, sweat, and tears difficult. You must recognize something that at first may be difficult, even painful to look at. You must recognize that you alone are the source of all of the conditions and situations in your life. In other words, if you're not living the life you want, it starts with you acknowledging the fact that that's your DNA. If you're not living the life you want, if you're not getting the results you want, if it's not happening fast enough, the answer to that is in the mirror. It's not sitting next to you. It's not your wife. It's not your husband. It's not the next door neighbor. It's not the weather. It's not the economy. It's not the president. It's not the government. It's not. It is you. You must recognize that whatever your world looks like right now, you alone have caused it to look that way. The state of your health, your finances, your personal relationships, your professional life, all of it is your doing, yours and no one else's. Now listen to me. Don't hear that I'm not that I'm saying that adversity shows up and it's your fault. I'm not saying that, right? You're diagnosed with cancer. You didn't cause that. Now, how you respond is 100% your choice. You get into a car accident and you're hurt badly and you can't work, or it changes a major part of your life. Adversity, your fault? Not necessarily. How you respond, 100% in your control. You are the cause, the source of everything that happens in your life. When you recognize this, once and for all, you unleash a powerful force. Once you see that everything that exists for you now is your creation and no one else's, then you'll see that everything that can or will exist in the future is your creation also. Meaning, if I can look in the mirror and I can see that all of the challenges that I'm having are because of me, good news, because I can fix that. I mean, what if it was your neighbor's fault? What if it was the weather's fault? What if it was the economy's fault? Holy cow, what if it was the president's fault? What are you going to do about the president? I'll tell you, absolutely nothing. Now, if it's your fault, you can fix that. As long as you look at a situation and say, I didn't create this, you're allowing the situation to remain beyond your control. You're saying that there's nothing you can do about it, that it must remain forever, or until somebody else changes it for you. All right, we're going to close with this. To move from your start, which we have defined as the taking of control, to your destination, which is the achievement of a desired goal, you need only two things. One, a clear idea of what you want. Your subconscious does not recognize vague goals. They have to be clear, precise, descriptive, present tense, as in I am, not I want. Your subconscious does not recognize vague goals. An idea in this process is nothing more than a mental picture which you send to your subconscious mind. But be advised that the subconscious mind does not respond well to fuzzy pictures. Remember, the subconscious mind does not care what kind of idea you present to it, as long as the idea is sharp, clear, and specific. Number two, the next thing you're going to need is commitment. Number one is a clear idea of what you want, an objective. And number two is commitment. This, like willingness, is an attitude. Most people think of it as a promise or obligation, as in, I'm going to commit to this. It's mindset. It's attitude. It's like willingness. You don't actually have to do whatever it takes. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes. It's mindset. It's how you think. If that's what comes to mind for you when you hear the word commitment, I'm going to ask you to change the way you think of it. Commitment, according to this new definition, is a feeling of confidence that you'll continue to pursue what you want no matter what happens. It's not a promise or an obligation. Rather, it's a firm belief that what you want is so desirable and so important to you that in the end, it will be worth doing whatever you must do to get it. This confidence, this firm, unwavering belief is what the ultimate secret is all about. So, how to get anything you want? All right, what are your thoughts? If you're able to talk to me, talk to me. I don't know, the signal's weak today. So Vicky DeLuca, hand in the air, talk to me.
Love that book. I am all about nothing easy. Good comes easy in life, right? And so we all have to know that we have to work to get whatever we want to accomplish. And the most important thing is your mindset. 100%. You have a choice every day you wake up, how you're going to show up and how you're going to look at life. I mean, it's all in your foundational beliefs and how your attitude and how you know, if you're optimistic, you're going to have such more productive, you know, a more productive life is what I'm thinking. I choose to show up every day with a positive attitude, and it takes a commitment. And it's like anything, you have to know that you're going to get a better outcome if you just have that open mind, just like you said. You have to approach everything in that because you don't know where the other person is coming from ever. My mom always said that you just never know.